Hi everyone. Don't mind my writing on my hands. I'm Becca, so it's nice to meet you, whoever decides to join in. I am, as my paper says, reworking my budget. I I made a budget. I am a longtime follower of Dave Ramsey, and unfortunately, I made a mistake on this budget. So, what I'm having to do is rework my budget, make sure I can pay all my bills. A little background about me is that I live in a home that I share with family. I work as a private preschool instructor, and so I don't earn a whole heck of a lot. But what I do earn, I try to use to the best of my ability. I am looking at the possibility of making a career change in the near future. And today was let's be creative today, not let be dumpy day. So I've been struggling a little bit with feeling down in the dumps, and so I thought that I would start working on reworking my budget, which I've got kind of covered up right now at the moment. And working on some layouts in my Happy Planner. I have chosen to use a Happy Planner for this next year. At least that's what I'm continuing to tell my brain at the moment because part of me wants to really, really, really go buy an Erin Condren now that I know that there's a flagship store in Austin and I only live a few hours away. So, yeah, the spender in me is going, let's do it, let's do it, let's do it. Well, you can add and detract from why do you need to go buy another one. So for today, we are going to be working on reworking the budget. So you're going to see my numbers. They're not very big. I am single. I do not have any children of my own. I share a home with family members, and that is how I am able to afford things. We pay into a pot in the family. We also together. So that is how we are able to afford our home, and that is how we currently live our life. And I do not fault anyone in any circumstance that they have to do the same thing. So let's get started, shall we? Let's get creative. This is kind of weird working with a camera in front of me. So I start all my budgets out in pencil. And so, generally speaking, oops, excuse me, I earn roughly between 715 and $740 per paycheck. This is a three paycheck month, so I have already done one full budget plan, which I have written out and have on a paper, and I will gladly show that to you for anybody who's interested. So, I had projected a payment of $715.26 based on paychecks that I had received for the last few weeks of the month because I had at the time, I work a straight 8 hours at the school that I work at. However, we have a closing staff member who likes to try to get people to leave as quickly as possible, as early as possible. And so I was literally losing out every pay period on about 5.5 hours of pay. So I have started going into work early to make up for that time that I miss so that I can get closer to a full 8 hour payday, 80-hour paycheck. Not quite there yet. This next pay period, I was at, I think my total hours were 78 hours. So I'm getting closer, but I'm not close enough. And so this next pay period afterwards, starting this next Monday, I'm going to continue and hopefully get that full 80-hour paycheck going again, because that's what I want. So with my bills, because we pay into a family, I pay $400 in rent a month. I should probably write this down, and I can write it on the back of this. So typically speaking, my rent is $400 a month. I pay, sorry if this is shaking, I pay for food into a mutual grocery fund. I pay $200 a month. For internet, I pay 20. My phone, which I take care of myself, right now sits at about 92.87, and I know that's huge. I'm on Project Fi or Project Google Fi, and this is because my parents, my father, has a job that he flies internationally for. And when he has gone internationally, the only phone system that works to the best advantage for us is to be on Project Fi. He can call, send messages, or send pictures when he is somewhere international, and we receive them in a timely fashion. So we have enjoyed this service. Now, the reason why mine is so high is because I have a tendency to use my data service when I'm sitting in my car waiting for something, when I am at a shopping store and I'm trying to figure out what the recipe was or what the craft project was. And so that data adds up over time, and this is the bill you get. So I have become very conscious of this now, and I am working at lowering this bill. So unfortunately for this next month, it will be 92.87. I also pay for Hulu for my own account. I have frozen for the moment my Netflix account because I found that I was watching Netflix mainly on the home channels, and if I was paying into the internet as I have been doing, then that was covering costs of having Netflix and Prime and stuff like that. So I decided to freeze my separate account of Netflix and in favor of the family account, and then I just keep Hulu for now. Okay, sorry about that. My phone apparently glitched. Yes, I am filming on my phone. I am choosing not to buy any equipment until such time as I can afford it. So I'm contemplating getting Prime and paying the monthly fee so that I can have another viewing platform, but I don't know that that's going to be a thing that happens. So outside of these things, I pay 400, 200, let's see, 600. I pay 620 into family funds, or I should say family accounts. And then these are my separate bills of 8, 15. In total, I pay myself, and yes, I'm going to work out this math in person, folks, because I am not the greatest at math, and I do rely on a calculator to help keep my numbers correct if I do not have extra paper. So for the whole month, I pay $731.58 for all my bills. This is, like I said, a three paycheck month, three paychecks. I've been paid November 2nd. I get paid the 16th, and I get paid the weekend of the 30th. I think that's the 28th. So those are my pay periods. So I am necking on the November 16th pay period. Okay. So when we do this, I end up paying my rent in thirds. I don't pay my food in thirds, but I do pay my rent in thirds. So I divide my $400 by three. I pay $100 every 2 weeks. This pay period, I will pay another $10 towards the internet. I will make a full phone payment because I messed up on my timing and I forgot to save half of that would be about 46.50. That would be half payment out of my last paycheck. This is why we do budgets. This is why I do projection budgeting so that I can, when I make mistakes, I can figure out what I need to do to fix it. And then I'm going to be paying Hulu. So my total bills at the end of the month are going to end up being not what I thought they were before. Excuse me for shaking the camera. But they are going to be roughly about I just wanted to back myself up on that. 2, 3. Wait, hold on. I'm sorry. I need my paper back. So we have 244. That covers those things plus 92, 87, and 871. So that's 8. That's 15. Yes, I use old math, not Common Core math. Isn't that shocking? 5, 6, 7, 15, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So this is my total that I'm going to be paying out. It's 345.58 in total. So we're gonna put, what was that again? We're gonna put $354.58 is the total payout. Total payout. Okay, that means my leftover cash will be, we're gonna budget on the safe side. I'm not quite sure what my paycheck's gonna be. I think it will be probably closer to the 740 mark than not. But I'd rather budget conservatively for my money and then be pleasantly surprised that I have a positive. So, because those pleasant surprises are nice, aren't they? When we get them, and we live near an Air Force base, so you're gonna hear planes every now and again. Six. Isn't it interesting to see people do old math? So my leftover money is $369.68. Okay, so here's where it gets a little funky. Because I got mad at myself for not saving correctly for my phone bill. Who wouldn't get mad, right? So I got to be the adult and I got to do this. So this has to get paid because my phone bill's due on the 20 on the oh, let me look at my calendar. Okay. So I have a calendar. I use the Happy Planner Classic. I have it with expanders in it so that I can put all these extra papers in it because I like to keep my budget in the middle of my calendar. So my Hulu is due on the 21st. My phone bill is also due on the 21st. And then, as you can tell, my next paycheck isn't due until the 30th. So I can't put these off any longer. They have to get paid those days. So, wah wah, there's the bill. All right. So, at the beginning of the month, you can't see it, but maybe I can move it. An Easy Start certificate with $500. That is the first time in several years that my savings account has had that much money in it. Yes, we fell hard and fast off the wagon. It happens, you know. We do, and then we need to bounce back. We need to what we need to work on what we can make things out. So back to the budget. Back to the budget. Back to the budget. Okay, so down here I have a savings already in the bank. Savings in bank. I opened up a certificate instead of keeping it in my savings account because I know me. If I had that money in my savings account, guess where it would go? Out. And off to buy lovely things that I would have instant buyer's remorse for. So I chose to put it into a certificate so that I can still access the money if I choose to, but part of that is that there is a penalty that if I do take whatever money out, and whatever interest I have earned up until that point, I will no longer have. So if I want to keep the money and build on it, and it builds better and a larger sum of money than if it stays in my regular savings account, I want to keep that money in that certificate. So that's why I chose to put the money in a certificate, and it's already saving my butt because I am jonesing for an Erin Condren life planner, because I really do want to see what the difference is between using a life planner and using the Happy Planner and decide which one I want. And I have contemplated the idea of the X amount of money that I would want out of my certificate for the planner. And I'm stopping myself from doing it because even though it might be a little bit of change right now, I'm going to lose that little bit of change right now that could be going into my account. So I still have not purchased anything. But that makes this next little bit of budget kind of tricky because I personally really, really, really want to go ahead and get this thing. And if Erin Condren's running some mind-blowing sale for like Black Friday, I want to get it. Anyways, let's go to our envelopes, shall we? I have cash envelopes, and usually this is a lot. There are a lot more envelopes than what you see right here, but I decided to condense and take a few out that necessarily necessary. Down here, what I've written is that I have in savings currently, I have $500. I was trying to figure out, my goal is that by the end of the year, I will have $1,000 in savings. Now, mind you, I have one whole other month to go to build up this savings. So I was playing with the fact of, what if I only put $200 in the savings? Then I would have 700 in the savings certificate and I would need 300 more. But I know out of my next paycheck, I could only necessarily do $250. So it would leave me at 950 at the end of November. I would be $50 shy of that goal. And that's kind of killing me at the moment, that being $50 shy. So I'm in debate at the moment. I know that I need money for gas and car. I budget at about $50 because it is an older vehicle I drive. I never know if something is going to happen, and I'm pretty sure I'm due for an oil change. So instead of having my dad do it in the cold weather, like he will always do it because he's such an amazing guy, I'm thinking about going and paying to have it done. My Christmas envelope will have 40. We love Christmas in my house. Do not get me wrong. We absolutely do love it. However, we all are coming to the realization that it's not always about the gifts, it's more about the time spent with the people. So we've kind of all shifted our budget slightly to not be quite so gift heavy and be more like time heavy, quality time heavy, project time heavy, that kind of thing. And then this is my savings. So right now this sits at $340 if I stick with the $50 in savings. With I mean, if I stick 150 into the savings, that's hard for me. Because if this is how much money I have left over, and then I subtract the $340, I end up with $29.68 to go to personal, which, if that's what it's meant to do, then that's what it's meant to do. It's not like I can't do it. I just am struggling with it. I've kind of gone into obsessive mode over planning. I really planning. It is giving me a sense of purpose to track habits, to track moods, to track my money, to track my events. Like I don't feel quite so chaotic because I have a place that all of my information is going, and that is awesome. So what I'm working on here is just trying to figure out. I don't necessarily need to buy goodies. I've got sticker books. I've got the big old pot. Whoops, excuse me. I've got my big old pot of water. I have my planner. I actually have some backup sheets. I've got my filler paper that this is being written on. I have my note paper that I keep track of certain things on. Like today, I've been binge watching shows, so I check them off as I've been watching them. So I got caught up on Midnight Texas. I want to get caught up on Dancing with the Stars. I love me some Highlander. Who does not? And I really like the show Timeless. So I also need to work this weekend on my sewing commission. And then these were other numbers that I was working on. Anywho's. So, as I was building, and forgive the sniffles, I have a cold and it has settled in my nose. So, yes, can I do $250 in savings? Yes. Does it make it tight? Yes, it does. My personal at this point would be 29.68. And I think for the moment, I am going to mark this stuff out, and I'm going to do it in a way that I enjoy. I'm going to use the washi. Look at how pretty these are. So I have Yo bowl full of washi. I really like this thin one. It's holographic and it's just amazing. I was thinking about adding in the cameras. I don't know why. Just mainly because of the colors or the arrows. So I want to do a separation of where my bills and things are due. I have a bill pay sticker. Oops, wrong way. I have some other stickers that I could put out on here. It's just my way of keeping track of things because it may stick to this and I do make that $250 payment into my savings account, I'll be proud of myself for doing that. That's something that a lot of people don't necessarily talk about is how it feels to them to be able to put that money aside. I could easily spend this whole money. I could say, you know what? I'm not going to do any savings this paycheck. I'll do it out of my next paycheck. I'll catch up in December. I could say that, but I'm trying to build myself better habits. I don't know about you, but I know for me, I need to build myself better habits. So that's what I'm working on. That's the biggest pull for me into this is that I want to do better for me. So that's what I'm working on. So now we're going to decorate my sheet to replace the budget that I messed up. So I think we're going to use this from a friend. She had got this in a swap of some kind, and you know what? Life has been an adventure ever since I started budgeting. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this down on the top of my budget sheet, and we're gonna line it up right here. Oop, 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 oop. Nope, 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 nope. Okay, we're gonna line it up and lay that baby down. There we go. Okay. So, I don't have a ton of stickers that I use. I don't have a ton of decorations that I choose to use. I do use them. I mean, I do have sticker books. Don't get me wrong. I love me some good stickers. I am waiting on some stickers that I purchased from Star Stuff Stationery. I won a contest that she was having, and I ended up getting a credit. And so I've bought some stickers from her, and they are adorable, and I cannot wait for them to get here. But I am totally just going to use up what I've got because that's what we do, right, folks? We use up what we have. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this down around. Oh, I hate it when I wrinkle it up so bad that on the paper, but I'm going to make my boxes. And I think what I'm going to do is we're going to cut it off right about there. We're going to cut it off right there. Nope. Nope, I'm going to extend it out because I am going to write down if anything occurs. I will end up writing down if I needed to make an adjustment of some kind or the actual cost of whatever the payment is. So, yeah, I am going to pay that full phone bill. Gosh, that sucks. I am going to be looking. I've turned on some notifications on my phone that I am hoping will help me with the being more aware of my money and where it's going. Because sometimes we think we know where it is, but we don't really know where it is. Oops. Well, I should have grabbed my card and I didn't. Um, you know what? Let me take this off for a minute. Because I need to put on These are the bills due. We'll put that on top of that. I'll put it like that. We'll layer it just like that. There we go. I do need to get my Sharpie and put my on here that it is November. I am so sorry about that. Apparently, it is the day to fly your plane. It must be the temperature outside, I swear. Um, I'm up in the Dallas Fort Worth area, and the weather has dropped significantly. And I know that a lot of pilots like that. They like the temperature change. It brings about a different airflow and format for them to fly around in. So they be having some good old. Okay, there we go. All right. Oh man. So let's see. All right, I need to write these words down in pen. So rent will be 134. Good old food, buy them groceries will be 100. Internet will be that $10. Phone. Oh, I can't keep doing this. I gotta fix that. 92.87. December will look a lot different. Hulu 871. Okay. Let me see this real quick. Sorry, folks. Dragging things around, making all kinds of sounds. So 354.58 is the total payment. Okay. Because I know I'm gonna write it over here what the total payment was. Total 354.58. Okay. And then I erase all my pencil. Because that's what you do. Golly, I am so sorry, folks. You will have to forgive me. I wanted to do this because I wanted people that are making less money like myself. I make less than $18,000. I make just over, I think, 18.5 in a year. And I wanted for people that might be in a similar boat to not feel defeated, that it is possible for them to get ahead just like anybody else, and that we can do it. It's hard, but we can do it. There are side hustles that you can do. I deal with some chronic pain conditions, and unfortunately, right now, that is limiting my options, and so that's a little frustrating. But I am trying to do what I can do with what I've got, and it could always be worse. And I'm very, very, very grateful. Oh, I did that wrong. Do you see that? Do you see how my total is the wrong answer? My total is not $335.58. Oh, back. Oh, back. Oh, back. Oh, back. All right, so we're going to color out this box. Oh, I know what we'll do. We won't color it out. Well, we'll color it out, but not in the way that you think. What we are going to do is take a wee bit of this green washi right here and to cut it. This is a nice smooth cut. And I'm going to line it up. Okay, it doesn't do too bad on the Hulu part. Okay, hold on 1 second. Okay, I will write it off to the side here. We will correct that right now. So the total then becomes $354.58. Okay, there is a correction. Correcciones. All right, now move this up a little bit. I'm gonna kind of adjust you guys a little bit. Hopefully nobody gets seasick. I apologize. I will get better, I promise. Oh, that is not sticking down up there. All right, so cash, envelopes. Again, this is where, a lot of adjusting happens. Is where you're going to pay yourself in your cash envelopes. So, but I do believe in the fact that you should tell your money where it needs to go, and that you are the boss of it, and you get to decide what happens, not your money deciding what happens to you. I let that go on for far too long. I got into a cycle of, after I paid off my debt, I kind of lost my way. I had some big health issues, and just an overall feeling of depression. It happens. Mental health is not something to mess with. And so I kind of stopped for a moment, with continuing to work on my plan. And I'm about to turn a particular age, and that has relit a fire under my behind to get started on choosing to live a better life, even with where I'm at the moment. And I know there really isn't any normal circumstances. It's funny because a lot of people don't have a tendency to watch their words about what they say, and they're like, well, if they would just leave home. Sometimes leaving home is not an option. Sometimes life deals things in such a way that you have to make your circumstances work. And when you live in a higher financial area, working a job like I do, I love kids. I feel called to it. And yes, I know while feeling called to it is great, noble, and everything, if it's not making the bills meet, you should be doing something else. I get that. I get that, okay? And I understand where you're coming from when you say things like that. I really do. However, I do also think that children deserve to be around someone who cares about them. And so that is where I have been. Now, saying that, I acknowledge that I am now in a position where I need to think about my personal future and what that means. And because I am not married, I am looking at what is my next step? What am I going to do? Because I am taking care of me. There is nobody else taking care of me. And so, how am I going to do that? Am I going to do that with continuing to work at my current employer? Probably not. And why is that? That is because I am not paid a livable wage for my area. If I was a college student, that might be different. I'm not a college student anymore. I am an adult. And that means a few things. So I am looking at a career change, and more than likely an industry change as well. And those are scary things to look at when you are not used to thinking about those things. But I also look at it and say, this is a challenge. I've been given a challenge. Do I accept my challenge, or do I deny it? And to be honest, I'm. Oh, that's just a little bit too long. I am just adventurous enough to accept my challenge. So that's what I'm doing. And I am working towards reclaiming my life and making better choices for myself and for my future and whatever that might mean, ooh, look at that fancy little ending. See that? Ooh, that just looks so good. So good. Yes, I'm a pre-K teacher. I love to compliment my children about everything they do. Can you tell? Let's see. This has arrows on it. I thought that might be cute. So it's just hard to find the opening on it. So I think what we're gonna do is maybe cut it off at the point. I gotta cut it off. I gotta straighten that up a little bit up there. There we go. Okay. I'll lay that down on top. It's not completely right down the middle. Top was pretty good. All right. There we go. There we go. All right. So I think what I'm going to do is do I do these cameras after all? Is there anything on here? Nah, maybe not that. Definitely not that. I feel like I need a little more color, but I'm not sure that that's gonna work, you know? So maybe we'll do this. Maybe not. Maybe not. Although that would be kind of cool to do this down a center. Well, not exactly a center, but I wonder if I do this, how far over that would carry down there. Not do anything? Not necessarily. Huh. I'm trying to come up with an idea, you know? And some days those are just hard. Let's see. Let's go back to the bowl of washi. I have in here a traveling washi that looks. Aha, there it is. See that? It looks like the continents. I can always do. Oh, it says the continent's name on it. It says Africa, North America. Oh, I love it. I know a whole song about the continents. If you have a little one who's sitting next to you right now, they might enjoy the song. It goes like this. It goes, tell me the continents, tell me the continents, tell me if you can. Oops, that's so bad. There's North America, South America, Europe, Asia, Africa. Don't forget Australia. Don't forget Antarctica. Tell me the continents, tell me the continents, tell me if you can. Yep. I love that one. I love teaching it to my kids. My school kids love it. I'm very popular with the pre-K set. I know the preschool top 40. I don't know current top 40. So, just warning you. All right. Well, for the moment, I think I'm going to leave that blank. I think I'm going to leave the rest of these tapes off. Although, gosh. France. I think this might be Italy. Paris. Oh, this is not. That is. The middle one is England. I don't know what the bottom one is. This is kind of pretty too. I really like this one. It's so cute. Anywho's, okay, so This was my original budget that I had projected. And see how I write like little quotes and I let myself know things that are going on. Eventual need to include tithe. I'm working on Operation Christmas, filling a shoebox. I'm trying to keep track of my hours so I can figure out where my income might be. Tell your money where to go and make your money work for you. That is important. Tell your money where to go and make your money work for you. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Oh, this was my November 2nd work paycheck, which worked. So this is going back in the books. My that I had to rework, but I am investing in me. I am the present for you and the future you. Do not rob your future. Do not rob future you for momentary gratification now. Make sure your future you has a way to live. So, you got this. See? You got this. I will say goodbye, and I hope everybody enjoys this. Thank you for putting up with all my first time flubs, snubs, and everything else. And I hope to see you again next week or maybe tomorrow. Who knows? Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, and I will do my best to answer them. I hope you guys all have a blessed weekend and enjoy your wonderful weather, hopefully, wherever you live. Bye.